Washington. Welcome to the Fans View, KAZI 88.7. Travis Kent alongside Jamal January. Jamal's on the other side of the room.
I sure am.
Twisting and tweaking the dials.
I feel left out. I'm not at the table.
To my left, Douglas Washington. Douglas, how you doing?
Things are great.
Good. Like that tie.
Thank you. I've been getting a lot of compliments. When I picked it out today, since it's his fraternity color, I said all that matters is that Corey notices.
That's right.
That's all I really cared about.
To my right, KV24's Corey Mose.
What's poppin'?
How's it going, Corey?
Sensational. I got a little breakfast bar, banana.
There you go.
What more can we ask for?
That's
Wait,
right.
you're just now eating breakfast at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Wow.
I feel judgment.
Yeah, I think I'd be lightheaded. I'd be over on the floor in pain, stomach cramps or something.
My hours are different than your hours, bro.
Yeah,
You got
okay.
kids.
Yeah, yes, indeed, and they got to get out
don't.
of school, whether I want to or not. Travis, are you an early breakfast eater?
No, I'm not. I'm not a breakfast guy at all.
What? Most
athlete
of my meals
dude.
a day.
You don't miss a meal, right?
I love breakfast. I can eat breakfast for lunch. I can eat breakfast for dinner.
too.
I
Now-
can eat breakfast.
I don't have anything against the breakfast.
He didn't say that.
The meal. Yeah, I'll eat.
okay,
I'll eat
okay.
breakfast for lunch or breakfast for dinner. I'm just not a morning eating guy.
The time of day.
I get
Okay.
nauseous when I eat in the morning. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Hey, be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So, as I get later in the morning, like if I sat down to eat breakfast right now, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But if I wake up early, I'm getting ready for work. I don't want anything to eat. I'll drink. I drink my. I don't drink an energy drink. I drink like my liquid IV type stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta get.
Type.
I get that in my system, and sometimes I might have to have a Dr Pepper or something like that to get the caffeine.
Oh,
in me.
wow,
I'm not a coffee guy, so I gotta if I need my caffeine. But I can't. I'm not an early morning eating guy. So
Is Dr. Pepper Texas?
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had
Waco.
mentioned that once before. Okay.
Really? Wake
pretty
up.
cool.
Waco. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I think Big Red was invented in Waco too.
Big Red is bubble gum. In a
I
can.
mean, we get them. Yeah, Big Red. Though.
Hey,
Oh, wait, hold on.
let me tell you what. Big Red and peanut M&Ms.
Oh, that's
When I was in high school, that was my breakfast
That's a
every morning.
And that didn't make you nauseous?
That didn't make me nauseous. No, it sure didn't. 512-836-2887. You can get your calls, comments, questions in. We got a lot to go over today. Obviously, we've got NFL wrap-up from last week, NFL playoffs this weekend. Got a big game Monday night coming in the CFP.
Yeah.
Maybe rewrap a little bit of the Friday game from last week, which you guys weren't able to talk about. You were able to talk about the Thursday game, but obviously that was the Texas-Ohio State game. Corey and I were there. Wish it could have been a better turnout for us, but you know, it is what it is. So we can talk about that. UT basketball finally gets an SEC win over Oklahoma. So I guess the headline there is Oklahoma still doesn't have an SEC win.
Yeah.
He's gonna call in. He's gonna call in.
Read a stat.
We ready for him.
What is it? Brent Venables and Porter Moses is 1-6
Yeah.
against Texas.
Uh-huh.
That just can't be good in the Oklahoma fan base, right?
No.
Not no. Job security.
Who's your daddy?
UT women get a win last night.
Daddy.
Hey.
We got South Carolina coming up pretty soon, don't we?
No, they already played. You got him again, though.
They got him again,
The second. Yeah, I watched that, and it wasn't close.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very unhappy to see that, and I did buy a ticket to this upcoming home game against South Carolina, and maybe something different's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But there was just too much energy. Dawn Staley was even wearing the Randall Cunningham #2 jacket while she sat on the bench because she's so Philly.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that's the energy she's bringing today, it's gonna be she's hype and they're hype. I already knew that.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned out that way.
Yeah, not a great game by Madison Booker. She started off like 0 for 9.
Yeah.
Not like 0 for 9. She did start off 0 for 9. You just can't do that with your best player in a big-time game like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, they'll come back here, see what happens.
You know, obviously, Texas women still ranked number 7 in the country right now, and it's there was a lot of season left. That's the big thing. Whether you're on the men's or women's side, the men's side, I got to tell you, I'm a little worried. Right now, if you take the early bracket projections, like 11 teams from the SEC projected to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
Depending on which bracketology you look at, Texas was on the outside going into that Oklahoma game.
Yep.
The good thing about that Oklahoma win, it was also a road win.
Yeah, it's a quad one win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Texas is in dire need of quad one wins, and they need to be able to pick off some road wins along the way because they haven't been able to defend the home court early in the conference season either.
A lot of teams haven't done.
No, you're right. You're right.
I was a Tuesday night. I was watching the SEC ball, and you had Missouri win their game.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I wish I could remember who they played, but then Ole Miss went into Alabama and beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama was ranked number 4 at the time.
Yeah.
And so I believe Missouri went into Gainesville,
Okay.
and beat them.
Alabama. Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the 14th.
So Ole Miss beat Alabama,
Yeah,
right?
Ole Miss
and
beat
then Missouri
Alabama.
beat
Number
Florida.
4, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Missouri beat Florida, right?
Missouri beat Florida.
Yeah. So they went into Gainesville, and in that game, their point guard got ejected.
Oh.
Yeah, he low key did an elbow to the not so private area.
I've never
Flagrant
to do
2,
that.
automatic.
I've been frustrated, but I've never acted
It
out.
was crazy. I didn't know what I was watching. It was late too, so I was like, bro, what is going on right now? This is SEC on a Tuesday, but yeah. So you have an unranked Missouri go into Florida,
Yeah.
beat Florida. I think they were 8 at the time, and then you had Ole Miss, who was 20 something,
21, yeah.
go into Alabama and beat Bama, and so
Yeah.
like. The home court doesn't matter in the SEC.
right.
Like every game is a bloodbath, and so yeah, you got to get the ones you should get, which is Oklahoma, if you're Rodney Terry and the Longhorn.
That Missouri hung on though. A win's a win.
No, but they're up by double digits. But I'm saying the kid got
second half,
ejected,
They were outscored by 15. Is that when he went out?
Yeah.
Oh, and then it turned.
So they still won.
And Florida lost 83 to 82. So you outscore them 48 to 33 in the second half. You're that close, 1 point away, and still lose. Ah,
it was a good game.
you come back like that.
Very like RT talks about it. It's so physical. Like this conference,
It is.
bodies are flying. Nobody's blowing the whistle. I'm just like, bro, what is going on? Is this WWE?
Are you guys shocked? And why haven't we heard more from Charles Barkley that Auburn is the greatest team in all the land?
He's not watching college
Yeah,
basketball.
he's too busy with
No,
TNT
but
and
isn't he a
everything.
homer? Like I thought
He is.
he
He
wore
is.
Eagles
He is
as much
during
as he
the-
can.
Yeah, during March Madness.
Yeah, he'll have the
Okay.
little
He
tiger
not-
stuffed animal up there.
So
on
he
the
can't be bothered right
table.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's getting paid to talk NBA.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
He is not getting paid to talk college basketball until the tournament starts. That's
Yeah,
when the paycheck comes from a different pot of gold. So, hey, a quick note. We always this opening segment we always kind of quick hit on some things that are outside of the norm before we really dive into some heavy talk. Couple of quick things. One, Bob Uecker passed away.
Yeah.
90 years old. I don't know how many people are that aware of Bob Uecker. He was a big player in my life in that the Miller Lite commercials,
Yeah.
when they began back in the 70s, he was a big part of those. He was a frequent guest on like David Letterman. He was one of David Letterman's favorite guests. He had a sitcom, Mr. Belvedere, that he
Yeah.
was the star of.
Yeah.
And of course, 54 years as the play-by-play man for the Milwaukee Brewers. He was also the play-by-play man for the Cleveland Indians in Major League, the movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so a lot of people remember him from that role. But he was funny. He was smart. He was easy to listen to when you did listen to him on the radio. He loved the game of baseball. He had no problem incorporating that into humor. But he's in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, and even he was a career 200 hitter.
Yeah.
Like literally a career 200 hitter. He once told a story that said People used to ask him about. They had a knuckleball pitcher at when he was with Milwaukee, and they asked him about how hard is it to catch him. He goes, not hard at all. He goes, I just wait till it stops rolling, I'll pick it up.
That easy.
So it was he was a character and certainly a loss to the game of baseball. So I want to mention that.
There were some lean years for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yes, there were.
And you tuned in or you wanted to hear from Bob Uecker, and that's about it. That's all.
Yep.
That's all there was. That he was the draw, and he did a great, just showing his range, his comedic timing. I mean, Mr. Belvedere was a great show, and he carried his own weight there. And then just in the flowery delivery, he wasn't trying too hard.
Right.
He wasn't trying to be funny. This was just like straight off the dome. I mean, he probably should have been on Saturday Night Live a little more often. I mean, just so more people could understand just how great of a comedic talent he was.
You know, part of his Miller Lite persona was that he was always talking about getting free tickets to a game. One of the perks of being a former Major League player is you get free tickets to the game. And great seats, hey, buddy. And then the usher comes by and says, oh, sir, these aren't your seats. And takes him up to the top row, and he's all by himself at the top of the stadium. And he's still going, hey, great seats, hey, buddy. And at Milwaukee's stadium, there are two seats behind at the top of the stadium. They're obstructed view, and for $1 you can buy the seat next to a statue of Bob Uecker sitting in the other seat. And so that's also one of the favorite things to do when you go to a Brewers game is you walk up to those seats and have your picture made with the Bob Uecker statue in the Great Seats, Hey Buddy seats. So treasure. You know, I don't know if you guys talked about this last week. I don't actually remember what day it happened. Ricky Henderson. We lost Ricky Henderson also. The greatest leadoff man in the history of the game.
I tell you, run, Ricky, run. He is stealing it. If he wants it, he's taking it. Yeah. And then he's telling you, if Ricky wants it, Ricky will take it. That's the best part of his delivery. Third person.
I loved hearing him talk and do interviews because he referred to himself in the third person. But one of the greatest stories about Ricky Henderson was his origin of baseball. He was a football player. He was a wide receiver. And in high school, he had a coach come to him and ask him if he would come out for baseball because they were short players and they were afraid they weren't going to be able to make a team. And he didn't really want to. But then he had a teacher come up to him and said, if you play baseball, I will give you $0.25 for every run, hit, stolen base, any positive stat. I'll give you $0.25 for every one. And he goes, ha ha ha, I'm about to make some money. He said one game he made $5.25. Yeah. So that changed the course of his career. I mean, literally, he was a skinny guy, and one of the scouts told him, he goes, it's great, you're fast, but you just don't have much pop in your bat. And he just went laser focused into workout. And I think the Ricky Henderson we remember are these tree trunk legs, this fire plug upper body that he had, and of course stolen base king, right? But also the most leadoff home runs in a game in the history of the game. He was just a fantastic baseball player, the 65 years old. 65 years old.
Way too soon.
Yeah, that is young.
So, but I just want to get those couple of remembrances out of the way. Another quick hitter, Live Golf.
Hey,
Live Golf signs a contract with Fox.
Big announcement.
Fox. The announcement did say that of course, Live plays a lot of foreign tournaments. There's not going to be any tape delay. When they were on the CW would tape delay, and so on a Friday or Saturday or a Sunday, you could tune in at like from 9 to noon and it would be on, but they've actually played the day before because they were in Dubai or whatever, right? Well, Fox will be broadcasting live, and so there will be some of the tournaments that are in the wee hours of the morning could be on Fox Business Network or something to that effect, but they won't be tape delaying, but you will get to see them on Fox. And so their U.S.-based tournaments will be on Fox and Fox Sports 1. So they actually have a real TV deal as opposed to just paying for airtime on the CW like they did their first couple of years. And so that's big news for them. Anybody watching the TGL? Tuesday nights on ESPN.
I did not.
TGL, is that the one that Tigers?
That's
Yeah.
Tigers. I call it Tigers Golf League. That's not actually what it's called, but
and they won't correct you for at least for these first 2 years.
Yeah.
They're gonna wait for it to take off, and then they'll start correcting people.
but it's essentially arena golf.
Yeah. Did you like it?
So I watched week 1.
Yeah.
I watched pretty much all of it.
That's a no. That's a no,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what it sounds
Go
like.
into a whole spiel,
And
bro.
I thought it was interesting. I don't think I can get into it long term.
Okay.
I just don't think I can. It helped that they actually have that green where they move it to change the green and change the whole location and all that. That is pretty awesome. But these guys they're just hitting into a screen, and it's just too much. Like I'd rather go hit into a screen and play. And there's a place I go out in off 620 up in the Lakeline area that's an indoor hitting bays, and it's not a stadium like this one. This is a huge screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't think I can. I don't think I can get into it long term.
Man, I think you've ruined it for me now. I'm gonna go check it out.
I would tell you to check it out
Yeah.
for sure. And now there's some entertainment aspects to it in that these are teams of 3 playing against each other, and there's some ribbing that goes back and forth. They're not treating it like a tournament where don't talk to me. They're actually there's challenge flags where you can drop the flag and you can double the points of a hole. That's kind of the other part of it too. Is the first 2 weeks. One is they've got they're like naming like L.A. Country Club played against Jupiter Lakes, but they're not actually like the New York-based team. The guys aren't actually from New York. The L.A. team, they're not actually from L.A. So there's some disconnect there. But the flip side of it as well is that while it's team-based, both of the first 2 weeks have been absolute blowouts. Like Tiger and them got beat. They were down 9-1 when I tuned in for a little while to watch. I had something to do. I came back, watched later, and they were down 9-1. I'm like, okay, I don't.
So then at the end, people are tuning out. That was one of the critiques I saw, is that at the tail end, it's kind of futile. It's over.
The game over.
Yeah.
So
And
Well, they
what's
just gotta
gonna
play
keep
better.
people- Yeah. Or they're gonna have to do some tweaks to keep people in tune.
Yeah.
Maybe later you get to it, but man, they got to get established first, or a lot of money's gonna get left.
Yeah.
With the interactions, I think they could do better with the interactions too. Corey, they may need some sideline reporting,
I ain't doing that, bro.
some adrenaline interviews. But no,
They gotta give me the. They gotta
I've
give me
heard
the bag.
critiques of the guys they have. What did you think of the announcers that they have? I heard nothing but bad things about those guys.
Okay,
Wow.
so ESPN's leaning hard into this thing, right? They open the show with SVP,
Oh wow.
Oh, whoa.
He's the guy.
and he is. And now, those of you that don't know, Scott Van Pelt got his start with the Golf Channel. Essentially, that's where he came onto National Promise. I have no idea where he started locally or whatever, but National Promise, from a standpoint, he got his real start with the Golf Channel, then moved over to ESPN, and so he really has a good background in golf, and so they're leaning hard into it. He's in the studio. he's doing interviews with Rory and doing interviews with Tiger and getting the show started, and then throws it to Matt Berry, who is out at SoFi Stadium, where they're playing the golf. I don't know exactly. I just don't think they know exactly how to treat. They're trying to hype this. Does ESPN have a stake in this, or are they just trying to? Are they just looking around the landscape going, we still need to fill airtime. Football's over. We've got some basketball, but we don't have all the NBA. We've got college. They're just trying to fill airtime. And so it's not an overall great watch right now.
Yeah.
They got work to do.
Yeah, so the letdown from Scott Van Pelt. Maybe we can get Scott to hang around a little bit longer. You need the big hitters. Maybe you roll some Adam Sandler out there. You roll some. He's got his own show now. His own talk show. He was in the movie with Adam Sandler. His name eludes me now.
Let me just start naming
As an announcer.
As an announcer.
ESPN. He started from ESPN.
Okay.
It'll come to me. Dan Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you bring Dan Patrick out there. But, yeah, I think they got to bring out some heavy hitters to keep us all in tune. They're going to need to start doing some things with that scoring to give people a chance to climb back in.
They are.
And so that tweak has got to happen. What, Mario eggshells? Can we get some power-ups or something? It's going to need to change.
They're for sure they're going to. The part about this that I do like that was interesting for me was the fact that they do have real grass that they're hitting off of. They've got, so if you knock it in the rough, they have this square of longer grass, so you have to drop it in the rough and hit it out of the rough versus hitting it off of fairway. You can knock it in the sand, and you have to hit a bunker shot out of sand. I mean, so there are some things about it that are very interesting. I'm going to give it a couple more looks, but yes, it has to get more entertaining from the players. Once again, we're talking about golfers here. I love golf as much as anybody, but golfers are not the most entertaining people in the world, right?
No way.
And so, I honestly, I started thinking about this. It was like, how are they going to try to make this a little better? I think they need to throw an amateur into the team. I think you talk about bringing somebody like maybe Adam Sandler into the mix.
Yeah.
What if Adam Sandler's on one of the teams?
Tony Romo.
I'm not trying to hear his voice, bro.
Steph Curry,
Oh, that'd be awesome. You get Steph out there. Charles Barkley.
God, Tony, bro.
Charles Barkley.
I'm not trying to see his swing.
Hilarious.
Shot.
He
My
plays golf.
God.
The swings got better though.
I think you gotta get
last few
actual.
times I've seen it.
I don't think Tiger's gonna just let any Tiger's too competitive. Like, he still wants it to be competitive, so he's gonna bring out dudes that can really shoot.
Yeah, no, I get it.
If they're gonna be amateur, they still gotta be like Steph Curry.
I get it. It just there has to be an entertainment aspect to it. One of the things. So when you compare this to the other pure entertainment directed golf events, the match, right? The made for TV, not just a tournament. I'm going to tune in and watch tournaments all season long. You don't have to be that entertaining. The golf takes care of itself. There's 120 guys out there hitting great shots, and the camera can jump from shot to shot to shot, and that's entertaining enough for me. But if you're going to do something like this, it has to be entertaining. And I thought that when they did the Tom Brady and the Peyton Manning, and they were able to make that entertaining. This just isn't carrying the same entertainment value.
Yeah.
That's the big deal issue for it. So, all right. So Fans View, KAZI 88.7, Travis Kent, Jamal January, Douglas Washington, KView 24's Corey Mose. We're finally all back in the studio together. Unfortunately, that means that college football for myself as a fan.
Yeah.
And not quite Corey yet. Corey's got to do some reporting this weekend on a game coming up Monday. y'all can at least talk about it.
Yeah, but it's I ain't going out.
I mean, you're not going out
I was
there.
gonna say
That's not in the budget.
Don't give me started.
Okay, no,
ATL?
Don't get me started with
no,
the budget.
no local sports budget talk right now.
don't
We'll
get me started with that.
we'll take care of that another
Corey,
time.
if I can get us a free place to stay, then
Trust me, I tried that with Dallas.
Oh, did you? Really?
Yeah, it still didn't work.
all right.
Like I said, sensitive topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we got a caller on the line, so we're gonna jump into Mr. Oklahoma. Mr. Oklahoma, how you doing?
Hey man, y'all start laughing because every time y'all get on there, y'all say Oklahoma, y'all start laughing. You know, so go ahead. Go ahead and get it off your chest. You know.
What was your reaction when I said, "Who's your daddy"?
Yeah. Well, hey, nothing. What can I say? You know, what can I say? You know, but I mean, I can deal with it because I'm ready for Brett Venables to get out of there.
Yeah, this is definitely Mr. Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to go, man. Because if Ohio State high fives, what's the coach name?
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day, Oklahoma sure will take it.
You'll take them. I don't think
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
now, win or loss. Even if they get blown out, I don't think it can happen this year. I think
Yeah.
he's you know what? He's got to be saved for at least 2 years, right, guys? At least 2 years. Give him one more
You talking about
chance.
Brett Venables?
No, Ryan Day.
Right there.
Ryan Day,
I
yeah.
mean,
At a minimum, give him one more year to try it
I
out.
think, yeah, you can beat your rival, but hey, you're in the national
know.
championship. I think they need to cut him some more slack, man.
Yeah, I get it. Losing to your rival's never fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact is that if you lose your job, keeping your team in the top 10 every year,
Yeah.
then who are you going to get? That's going to meet your expectations. Eventually, you're going to hire somebody that's going to really fail you.
Yes.
And now you're back to the post John Cooper days
Exactly.
of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ryan Day is doing a fantastic job, man. Because if they got rid of Ryan Day, man, I mean, that's crazy. Because, man, he wouldn't have no problem about another job.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, man.
No.
Yeah, I wanna switch to the Cowboys, man. Talk about Deion Sanders.
Oh, we here already.
Man, but you know what, man? I don't think, this is my opinion. I don't think Deion Sanders should really go to the Cowboys, man. But you stepping in, man, you get with the Cowboys, man. You know, we expect you to win. You know, I think if Deion Sanders was head coach, you know, we'll win, you know, maybe some games, you know, maybe some years. But then when we start losing, then they're ready to fire him, you know. So I don't know. I don't think he's ready, man. I don't. I think he should stay in Colorado.
I'm gonna let these guys go. You already know how I feel.
I want to hear what Corey thinks about about Dallas as a job and where it falls nowadays as an attractive job.
I mean, it's still the star, bro. I mean,
It is.
Let's not cap like it's not still one of the most coveted jobs of America. Heck, I asked
Not
Rodney
now.
Terry, 2 summers ago, we had a one-on-one. I asked him, if you weren't a basketball coach, what would you want to be? And Rodney Terry said, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about a basketball coach saying he would rather be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's a job that comes once in a lifetime. I wanted to say, Mitch Oklahoma said Deion's not ready. I don't think he's not ready for the job. I just think that his purpose may not have been fulfilled at Colorado. I think Deion's a guy that, like, he likes challenges. He likes trying to prove people wrong. And I could see a world where, you know, the challenge of the Dallas Cowboys is enticing to him. But I also feel like the challenge of proving that he doesn't need his son is also a challenge that he wants to prove people wrong on, and saying, hey, I can lead a football program without my family being here, and I can be a hell of a college football coach. So I can see both sides of it, but he loves Jerry. He loves Dallas. He loves the Cowboys. So I could see him taking the Cowboys job for sure. But I think it's one of the most coveted jobs in America.
look, I would agree, but it's the caveats that come with it. And you know, I think the reason Mike McCarthy walked away is because of he took the job and he was told who his offensive coordinator was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But he had been out of football. He's like, okay, I can get back into football. It's the star on the helmet. I can make this work. And then his contract runs out, and we don't know exactly what happened in this week between the end of the season and Jerry telling him that no, you can't go interview with Chicago. Let's sit down and talk. But something broke down. My guess is that Jerry was cheap, didn't want to pay him any more money.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike McCarthy was like, really? The headaches you put me through, and you're not going to pay him any more money? Two, I think that he was being dictated to, is it, hey, we're gonna put Jason Witten on your staff because he's going to be, I want to build him into the next great head coach. And there's so many outside factors that go in. Because here's why I say, Mr. Oklahoma, this is my pitch for why I like Deion as the next coach of the Cowboys. I'm not saying that he's going to be. I'm not saying that that's the best choice. But if I'm going to pitch to you why I think Deion would be the best choice, my pitch would be there are only a few people who, one, would have the guts, and two, might be able to get away with telling Jerry no.
No. Oh, my God.
If Jerry went to Deion and says, because we know they've had a phone conversation, so we know that's on Jerry's mind.
Yes.
He's got to interview some other people. He goes back to Deion. He picks up the phone, says, Deion, fly down here. I'm going to give you an interview. And by the way, my plan at the end of the interview is to offer you the job. And they get through that interview, and all of a sudden Jerry starts talking about, well, I'd like you to bring this person on the staff, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Deion's the guy that can say no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me as your head coach, I will be putting together my own staff. I will be making all those decisions. You sign the checkbook. I played for you when you signed the checks, and I'm still fine with you signing the checks. I will coach for you with you still being the GM. But my voice will be loud, and it will be proud, and you will listen to what I say. And if you say no to any part of that, I will go back to Colorado, and I am perfectly happy doing exactly what I'm doing right now, building my profile. And if I want to be an NFL head coach one day, I will be an NFL head coach one day. It doesn't have to be now if it has to be under your way of doing it. Because your way of doing it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, sorry, Miss Oklahoma, I just want to get this off real quick. I totally agree with Travis, everything he just said. And I think just the other factor to me, it's just the aura of Deion, and that's something that I feel like me as Jamal and I, we're in a different era.
Mm-hmm.
We've experienced a different Cowboys than y'all have experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And what y'all have experienced is the Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin.
The true America's team.
Talking
Triple
trash.
threats.
Knowing you got the star on your helmet and people hate that about you, and then owning it like, yeah, we got the star on our helmet, so what? You didn't get that with Jason Garrett. You know, you don't get that with Mike McCarthy.
Right.
And I'll give you your division rival when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. When I look at Nick Sirianni, I look at that's Philly. Like, he's annoying.
Right.
He is like in your face with it, and he's going to talk trash to anybody, no matter if you're his fans or not. If you're a 5-year-old kid, he's going to put a middle finger in your face. Like, he just doesn't care. But that represents the city. I think Deion would represent what the Cowboys are trying to, or have been known as, and that Flair would be back in the locker room. So, because there's no player. I mean, Micah does it. CD's a little bit, but like no one's outspoken like that.
Right.
And I think Deion would be a perfect embodiment of it.
Well, you know, y'all, excuse me. You know, y'all think like that, man, but I'm Mike McCarthy. I am glad he's gone. I got sick of him, man. I got sick of Mike McCarthy.
12,
I
I mean,
mean-
3 12-win seasons back to back to back.
Yeah, but man, look, I mean, it's just that we we need to get to that Super Bowl, man. And look at KC. It's something that's going on right with Dallas not into the Super Bowl. KC
Yeah, you don't have Patrick Mahomes.
lives in the Super Bowl, man.
I 100% get it.
God.
But when you talk about when we look back on this past season and Mike McCarthy and what happened to the Cowboys this
He
season,
did a good job.
He did I think he did a great job.
What are you talking about?
He was told as a head coach, your starting running back
Yeah,
to start
bro.
this season is Zeke.
Like,
And-
that's crazy.
And I don't know whether he said this to Jerry or he just kept it in his back of his mind because he knew that it was going to cause a conflict, and he was just like, that's all right, I'll just do it. But he's sitting there going, this guy doesn't even deserve a carry in the NFL anymore. And I have to hold him out of preseason games and protect him like he's a real starting running back. I've got to pretend that he's a starting running back once I put him in. And then somehow I've got to transition to the guy that I think is the best running back on our team without Jerry getting mad at me. And he spent the first 6 weeks of the season doing that. That's why, look, ultimately, was Mike McCarthy the end of the be-all, end-all? No. He made his mistakes as well. But Jerry's getting worse. Jerry's getting worse, not better.
Yeah. And then I hear a lot of people. I go to the store and they be having the Cowboy jerseys on. We talk about it, but man, and they be talking about Dak Prescott too, man. God, dog, I just hate to keep getting that negativity. You know, and I think it's time for the coach to leave. I think we need another quarterback. We need a lot of everything, man. And every time you turn around, Kansas City, and I'm not a Kansas City fan,
But you don't need to worry about Kansas City, though, my shuckle. You talking about, all right, you mentioned you ready to go to the Super Bowl. You don't got to worry about Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl. Look at your conference. You got to worry about the Lions. You got to worry about the Eagles.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, the Rams are looking solid right now, but like when it comes to consistency in the next 3 to 4 years, like you only got to worry about 2 teams, and one of them's in your division.
I'm about to say, what about the Commanders? We're not gonna give them.
Here we go, man.
They the next round.
Yeah, I mean you're right, but they ain't proved nothing though.
I mean,
A win's a win.
The Ravens,
They ain't proved nothing.
the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. That's what I want to see.
No, but I about to say we
That's
don't
the
got to
other
worry about.
conference,
We
though,
talking about going to the Super Bowl though. Like we're talking about the
Oh,
road
yeah.
to get to the Super Bowl runs through
Yeah.
Detroit right now.
Let's get
Yeah.
past
Let's get
past
past
round
them.
2.
Yeah.
Let's get to an NFC Championship
And
game.
I don't think the Cowboys roster is that far away from getting to the
No.
NFC Championship. And so I don't think you got to blow everything up right now. You just need to get a couple more pieces out around
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, around Michael Parsons. I think
Yeah.
Dak is your quarterback at
Yeah.
least to get to the conference championship.
Yeah. And I want to ask y'all, what you think about the Pittsburgh coach, man? I hear a lot of mumblings, man. It might need to be a change in Pittsburgh.
Man, Mike Tomlin ain't.
We've been talking about this for a couple of years.
Yeah, last year they had the same
Yeah,
conversation.
they had the same conversation last year. If you're the Pittsburgh, first of all, I don't think the Pittsburgh organization has any designs on getting rid of Mike Tomlin. I think that's more of fan and media speculation than anything else. This is a franchise who, in my lifetime, I would have to go back and see when Chuck Noll was actually hired. But they've had 3 head coaches in my lifetime.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
amazing. That is amazing.
Texans had 2 head coaches
Yeah.
in 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, guys. I'm gonna mention a few things. I'm gonna get up there.
Okay.
But I've been watching a lot of this college basketball, the men and the women, and I watched the Rockets last night, man. And I think they keep the Rockets
What
in
a game.
Sacramento.
What a game.
Kept making them calls against the Rockets.
Yeah.
Oh man, they cheated the Rockets, man. You know. But anyway, man, I'm keep out on everything. You know, I want y'all to give me the pick for the championship Saturday. You know,
Monday.
college championship.
Yep. Monday night.
Monday.
We'll get to that for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I got a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna get off there. I'll talk with y'all later.
All right, appreciate it, Oklahoma.
Great day.
Thanks. 512-836-2887. Which is, I'm glad he transitioned us into. Let's talk college football playoff. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up what we watched on Friday to head into our discussion of Notre Dame, Ohio State on Monday. You know, certainly disappointing for Texas fans. Texas defense played fantastic, except for one play.
To end the half, that
Yeah.
75-yarder Trey Henderson.
Yeah.
What because y'all two were there. What was the atmosphere like? Did it just go dead silent on the UT side?
It did. It sucked the air immediately out of the building. It was, that is as excited to deflated as a fan I've ever been in a football game.
Because watching from being at home, watching on the TV screen, I'm like, Trey Henderson's an idiot for the penalty he got.
Yeah.
And that's how you redeem yourself right there.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, it was. Everyone's looking around the press box like, did that just happen? Like, legit. Like, we're all looking around after the touchdown for Texas and like, okay, 7-7 going to the half.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be 7-7. It felt like it should have been 21-7 at the half. Ohio State just kept shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. Like the Henderson one, they were literally on, I think, the 35-yard line, and then that 15-yarder.
They kind of stopped running the ball, too.
But Texas was doing it. Texas' game plan was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Coach Pete Kwiatkowski was genius in that game, defensive coordinator. But, yeah, it just felt like after that Henderson touchdown, we're just like, no way. Like, the whole momentum shifts. Then you start, like, snowballing your thoughts about, well, they've been trash in the third quarter all season. You let this happen right before half. Ohio State gets the ball first. But at the end of the day, like, that play really didn't. I'm not going to say it didn't matter, but Ohio State comes back out, throws a pick. Texas back in it, 14-7 with the ball. So, I have a lot of thoughts about this game, but we can.
Well, and I want to ask you guys, because the news has already come out that Quinn's going to leave. And so I'd like to hear from you guys on why Quinn has to leave. Because I do believe he has to leave. Can you guys tell me why he has to leave? It's
just the current college football environment.
Yeah.
You just don't get when you're with transfer portal and NIL and the high profile recruiting that goes on nowadays. You just can't. You really can't afford to have, if you're a CFP contending school.
Yeah.
You can't afford to have a 4-year starter quarterback because you lose too much. You cycle through too many transfer outs behind them, and it's it's. I'm not going to say it's unfortunate. I mean, this is what Dillon Gabriel ran into at Oklahoma.
Yep.
I mean, no disrespect to the Oklahoma program and the struggles they're going through right now, but at the time, I was like, man, they don't even really know what they have behind him. But if Dillon Gabriel had come back and said, I'm staying at Oklahoma, it wouldn't have mattered because everybody would have been gone anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's just the way it works nowadays. From Quinn Ewers' standpoint, I think he's making the best decision for him. We can talk about, is there really an $8 million package for him out there? Is it $6 million? Is it $4 million? Is it what really is out there? Man, I don't think Quinn's necessarily worried about pocketing an extra X number of $1 million. Quinn sees himself as, I'm ready to get with an NFL program and let them work with me and make me a 15-year NFL quarterback. And I would agree with him that it's time for him to move on. and whether that means he's an early third-round pick, and he goes to somewhere where he's not going to get a shot to be the starting quarterback, but they're going to work with him to try to make him the future starting quarterback, which, by the way, I think that would be a great situation for him, then so be it. But I think he's ready to be a professional quarterback.
I think another thing, too, fans are ready to see Arch and see what he can do, with that UT program and everything.
Transfers, high school recruits are ready to see him.
Yeah.
Because I know I've said that plenty of time here. I'm not coming to Texas if I'm going to be sitting for 3 years like Arch. With that kind of talent, wasn't Arch number 1 in the nation?
Yeah.
Man, nah, I can't be sitting for that long, bro. Send me somewhere else. I think that's what they would be saying. So that's why I thought another reason he had to be forced out. Because if Arch had to sit, the next recruit say, nah, man, y'all ain't sitting me. Y'all going to sit me behind Arch, and I'm going to, nah, it can't happen.
That's kind of why what's-his-name got up out of there.
Malik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my, well, not take, but like this is a perfect time for Quinn to leave. I mean, for Quinn specifically, not for the university, but just for Quinn and his life.
Yeah.
This draft class is garbage when it comes to quarterbacks.
It is.
Next year's class got some dogs in it. And so if you stay another year just from a Quinn perspective, you're not going to be as high of in the quarterback rankings. I think Quinn can honestly be a first-round pick.
Really?
No, yeah.
So
I mean, think about
Yes.
it. No,
That'll be the only
think
option.
about it. Think about it. You have Shador, you have Cam, and who? Quinn's next.
Quinn's next.
Quinn's the
Yeah.
third best quarterback.
It's either him or Jalen.
Yeah,
And then-
because I was about to say we've talked about it last week. I've seen Jalen in so many mock drafts, and then
Yeah.
after the bowl game,
Yeah, it's not Jalen.
And they're so much the opposite. Like Jalen's got the wheels,
Yeah.
but his arm is not
not there.
NFL ready.
Decision making
yeah,
too.
he had Ryan Williams is down there somewhere. So,
And that's why I feel like this, you're going to see it, man. I'm going to call it right now. This draft process, when scouts look at Quinn in person, when he goes to the combine, they see how fast his releases, see how far he can throw the ball. It may not be accurate, but he can throw the ball pretty far. And his launch angles, he's able to manipulate his arm to get the balls around different types of defensive linemen. I mean, he's impressive. I watched last year at the Pro Day. Mind you, he's throwing to Xavier Worthy. He's throwing to Adonai Mitchell for their Pro Day.
Yeah.
But Mike McDaniel was talking to Quinn after the Pro Day because Quinn threw the ball so well. Because it's a closed environment. It's in a bubble. It's a perfect place for a quarterback to show off your arm strength. And he did it last year. And so I can imagine for his official Pro Day, he's not going to kill it. And so I think once you put him in a room, too, look at his mind, because that was the biggest thing throughout the playoff, Quinn's mind. Audibling, changing plays, making it a run play, heck, the 4th and 13, changing it to max protection. Once you put Quinn on the board, scouts love that, too. And I think that's going to be another reason why you're going to see him climb, because of what he has in his head and that brain. And so, yeah, I could totally see Quinn being like a Will Levis situation, where it's like, okay, you may not have the talent to be a second rounder, but we need a quarterback. So, and you're the next best option outside of Shador and Cam, because they're going to go in the top 5 picks.
yeah.
So after those two go, you still have 25 other teams.
But like the Raiders need a QB bad.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So you guys aren't gonna rank Dylan Gabriel higher. Jackson Dart coming out of SEC.
I like Jackson,
and I just feel like
but not Dylan.
because I'm talking health concerns are another thing I think has Quinn drop, and those two could maybe ascend.
But I think the overwhelming factor for Quinn is the NFL arm, right? I mean, he has had an NFL arm since high school, and that hasn't changed. Now, the thing, if you ask me, ask Texas fan Travis, what frustrated you most about Quinn? And I'm not going to just say the turnovers, right? Because the turnovers is part of it. The thing that stood out to me about the turnovers is he has so much belief in his arm. he nonchalant a few too many throws, and that got him into trouble. He wasn't, and Sarkisian worked with him on some of this stuff because Sarkisian is a quarterback guy. So he didn't teach him to throw off his front foot. He didn't teach him to sidearm whip the ball out with finesse on what should be a dart to the sideline. He didn't teach. Those were Quinn Ewers putting a little too much faith in his arm. Just somebody's going to get him in NFL camp and keep working on those things. Okay. And I think it's going to take at some point. I think at some point he's going to, and it may happen when he gets to an NFL training camp and all of a sudden guys are picking off passes that at Texas he was able to complete, and he's going to go, oh, yeah. That's why I got to plant that foot and make that throw. Yeah. Because that guy who I've never heard of before keeps stepping in front of receivers and picking me off.
NFL DBs.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, it won't surprise me if Quinn goes at the top of if he goes somewhere around the 20 to 30 mark of the first round.
Can we play some? Oh, say something.
Well, mine was just to get you going because I haven't picked on Corey yet. But what if he wins a national championship and now Will Howard gets drafted higher than Quinn?
Will Howard not be.
That's game, man. Look at his weapons around him, man.
That's what I'm saying. Look what Texas did. Texas made him look scared in the pocket.
Literally, national championship is under his belt now, though. That's what I said.
Hey, not yet. Shout out Marcus Freeman.
If he gets it. And same thing for Riley Leonard. I think if they win it, Riley Leonard gets a few more looks coming off.
Once
I think
again,
he's got to come out.
Once again, there's not an NFL arm there.
In agreement.
Yeah, but run the ball.
I think they'll.
I think Riley Leonard's going to find a home on an NFL team. And my guess is he's going to be. I mean, he's a Sam Ehlinger type, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a place for him on an NFL roster.
Yeah.
And then you hope that something clicks and he becomes fire. But there's a place for him somewhere.
Yeah. I'm excited for the whole draft process. I'm excited to see what people say about Jalen Milroe. Once they get their eyes on him in person and he has to go through throwing types of exercises. I think Quinn, like I said, Quinn's really going to rise up the draft boards. Not a fan of Dylan Gabriel. I am a big fan of Jackson Dart, though. I think Jackson Dart's a sleeper that could also be that guy that, like a Bo Nix, no one's really considering right now. But after you start thinking about all the reps he has and all the games Jackson Dart has played,
all the deep balls he's
thrown, it's like, well, why isn't he one of the best quarterbacks in this draft? So, and the size, I didn't realize he was that tall.
6'4"?
Yeah, he's a big kid. So, and he has that moxie.
Yeah.
And so, I like Jackson Dart as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, but I wanted to do like the top 10. I don't know if y'all can pull that up real quick if I have access.
Quarterbacks?
No, top 10. The draft order.
I tell you what, let's hold. We need to get to a break.
Yeah.
Let's hold that. Let's come back with that to start the next hour, and then we'll get into talking about this Notre Dame Ohio State game. We're back. KAZI 88.7, The Fans View. Travis Kent, Jamal January, Douglas Washington. KView 24's Corey Mose.
Here.
We ended the last hour, and we wanted to transition into talking about the draft. We'll finish up our conversation on the draft, and really the Quinn Ewers question before we head into Notre Dame, Ohio State. Here's the draft order. Tennessee Titans.
Need a quarterback.
Need a quarterback badly.
Cleveland Browns.
Need a quarterback.
Need a quarterback.
Especially after Deshaun tore his Achilles again. So, yeah.
New York Giants.
Low-key need a quarterback.
A strong arm quarterback, though. Because those winds whip at the top of that stadium. You got to have a strong arm there.
New England Patriots.
They don't need one.
Yeah.
They say they're good.
I mean, they say Drake May's solid.
Drake
May. They got Joe Milton as backup. They'll be fine.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think they need a quarterback, but
they paid
contract.
Trevor.
They're not gonna.
Yep.
No one's gonna take Trevor.
Vegas Raiders.
Need one badly, and if they miss out on again 2 years in a row, Sell the team.
Wait, I thought you was a Dolphins fan.
I am, but I'm saying
you
I
buy
like
pretty
becoming a
hard,
Raiders
bro.
fan. I like Raiders culture. That one time when all the
Yes, sir.
Raiders
Oh,
fans
they go
called in.
hard
That was crazy though.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Raiders.
I lived in Los Angeles, and those
Yes, you did.
people are still that crazy about it. It does kind of pull you in. I agree.
But anyways, they need a quarterback.
Now we're to the number 7 pick, which is the New York Jets.
Yeah. They need one.
Are they? Is Aaron Rodgers?
They don't know about Travis.
Yeah, you need a quarterback.
Jordan Travis.
Yeah, they don't know. And they got him at a bargain, so
Number 8 will be Carolina Panthers.
Gucci.
we good right
they're
now.
fine with
Crazy.
Bryce
Yeah, they
Gucci,
good.
yeah.
They good right now.
The Saints at number 9.
They need a
Need a
quarterback.
quarterback.
Yeah, they need one.
Rattler's not it.
The Bears at number 10.
They good.
Gucci.
They're fine.
They all right.
6 teams, and only 2 quarterbacks are legit. You're telling me Quinn can't go top 10?
He might be. Yeah, he can. He might.
Well-
You just need one of those teams to believe in you.
Somebody's going to fall in love with him at Pro Day.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, bro. There's 6 teams that need a quarterback in the top 10.
Someone is going to fall in love with him at Pro Day.
I-
Because even though, when we talk, we talk about the NFL arm and the pure deep ball, they'll keep working on that. But what NFL scouts are going to fall in love with him is from sideline to sideline on the 10 to 20-yard routes, the guy can throw absolute darts.
Yeah.
And that's where money's made in the NFL.
He's going number 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
I mean, I can see that
I
too.
can see that too, yeah.
What?
But I don't know.
Really?
That
y'all?
organization.
I mean, yeah, give him a
I
year
see-
to sit behind
Exactly.
Russ
Those
or
two.
Justin Fields.
That's where I think.
Your
I think
first
he
You're
got-
not,
round-
you're not
because
paying those 2 quarterbacks nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on. You just said he's gonna sit behind Russell and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So
why
you're
not?
telling
He
me in the
said for a
first
year.
round you're drafting your third string quarterback
Yeah.
out of everyone, like
For a
all
year
the other
rental?
players.
Now,
I've
do I
never
think
heard of that.
do I think they'll do it? No.
Okay,
There's
okay.
other things they need to do. Yes, but like I don't think it's just out of the
Yeah.
stratosphere of possibility.
I just don't
want
see
to
it
throw
happening at
another
all.
team in there because I think you got to go all the way down to there to someone else who could or should draft him.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great move and a great organization for Quinn because I'm rooting for him too.
Yeah.
I was going to say this to you guys. Jalen Milroe, if he wants to have good stock, because I think people are going to fall in love with his athleticism. Bro, at your pro day, only throw to Ryan. Don't have anybody else come out there. He will make you look good. I don't care if your homie is the other guy. Throw to Ryan and only Ryan. When Ryan needs a break, you tell the whole thing to shut down. We'll be back when Ryan's back. Am I right?
No,
And then
facts.
and Quinn, I think Golden shows up, and that's it. Nobody else. Just throw to.
Nah.
Well, who do you throw to?
Bond.
yeah.
Bond was supposed to be a first rounder at the very beginning of the season. After them first
He
like
still
3
may
games.
be a first
yeah,
rounder.
I think he can. I
If he
you
runs
heard it
to
here first. The
40.
Chiefs are gonna
But-
snag him
but-
up.
You
That'd be
can you
crazy.
do that though? I mean, you really just want. Okay, I was gonna say, Golden and Bond. Would they want to share the spotlight? Because they're trying to get looks too at that time.
Well, I mean that happens.
You
Every
may not get enough balls.
Xavier Worthy and Adnan Mitchell did the same thing,
They did do this. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
and Jordan Whittington. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
all 3
All
there.
right. Well then, yeah, 2 guys can do it. All right. When you say the top 2, we think it's going to be Shadur and Cam, right?
It is.
But Dion, remember, do you think Dion's going to interfere and try to pull something off? Do we think Dion wants Shadur to go to Tennessee or to Cleveland?
This is weird.
I'm just kind of curious if he's going to insert himself with that.
I don't think so. I mean, Dion has not been shy about speaking up and talking anytime he wants, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to let Shadur start to lead his own life moving forward. I don't think he's going to try to play any sort of influence in it.
Such a crappy organ. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Mayfield. And then I'll stop there. Joe Flacco was in the building, and all those quarterbacks walked out of Cleveland. And I really hate anyone that has to go to Cleveland. I'm not wishing that on anybody.
same.
I know someone has to end up there.
The fan base is nice during the games when they win.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they win.
Yeah, when they win.
I guess I'll say Tennessee is a better organization. So I guess you want to go to Tennessee?
Which team has
Out
the
of
better
two?
defense? Probably Cleveland, right?
Tennessee got a
Or
pretty good
Tennessee.
defense.
I'll say if I was in, I'd want to play in.
AFC
I want to
South,
play in the
though.
AFC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'd
I don't
start
know if I
thinking
want to
about
be
that
up
too.
north and have to see Baltimore twice a
No,
year,
facts.
Pittsburgh
Right.
twice a year,
Bengals.
Cincinnati. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd want to do that. So that's
In
the
the
other
cold.
part. Maybe you want to go to Tennessee.
Because who has the number 2? Cleveland does, right?
Cleveland.
The
Yeah.
reason I'm asking is because, 2 years in a row, we've seen the quarterback that got picked second overall make the playoffs. C.J. Stroud.
Oh, look at you.
Jaden
Already out
Daniels.
there
So
on
I'm
the
like,
first.
I'm just trying to think, if the streak keeps going, whoever goes to Cleveland, hey, Browns fans out there get excited.
They got a nice roster. I will say
Yeah.
that. Like, if you look at the roster, you still got Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward back there, Del
Yeah.
Pitt, Judy, maybe a guy. I
If
mean,
Joku could stay healthy, he
he
was
never.
nicked
You
up.
can't trust that kid though. He's always hurt.
Agreed.
Chubb is okay.
Chubb needs
I
to
hate that.
retire.
I don't want to see any more Chubb.
But I like Stefanski. I'm a real big fan of Stefanski. I think he's a good head coach.
They're hanging on to him.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
I mean, he took Joe Flacco to the playoffs. So
Yeah. When you guys get down to someone else, so the Minnesota Vikings, what are they going to go get? They don't need a quarterback. It sounds like they're either going to do Sam or JJ.
I was actually going to ask y'all that question,
What
too.
What do they need?
what they need?
Yeah. What would you guys do
I
in
mean,
the first round?
if I was the Minnesota Vikings,
Yeah.
I would go get Genty. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh.
Really? Okay.
Well.
If he's available,
Just-
why not?
Okay.
You have Aaron Jones, but Aaron,
Oh, do like Detroit. Okay, so do maybe a Detroit thing, a two
Yeah.
running back committee.
I mean, I feel like the defense is solid. You're gonna have to pay those guys like Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
He's up, I believe. But you got the guys in free agency last year in Grenard,
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel, doing his thing.
Both
Harrison
safeties
Smith
are
still in the
on
back.
expiring contracts.
I was about to say Harrison Smith is
And
up.
Bynum.
I think all five. I think they're 5 defensive backs. They're 3 corners and they're 2 safeties. All of them are on expiring contracts. So you got
and Gilmore, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they go. Oh,
They
might
may
come
go
to Texas
DB.
and come get some
Make
some
it Jade.
cornerbacks out of.
Okay.
Get Jade, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. I have a question because I remember I asked y'all this in the beginning of the NFL season. So now that we've seen what Sam Darnold can do you re-sign him or do you let him walk?
I re-sign them. But you guys weren't in fans because I was gonna say, especially with this quarterback class, see who wants JJ.
Here you go.
Put it out there.
Here you go,
Get another.
kid, bro.
Hey, you get another pick in this draft,
Dude be
and
living
now
in
we
La
can
La
go
Land.
get a couple cornerbacks. We got the 24th pick. Maybe we can go get like a 12th or 13th pick. Kevin O'Connell, if he feels good with Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold is wicked young.
Douglas, did you watch that game?
I did.
Do you think
he did look bad.
Kevin O'Connell is okay with Sam Darnold?
I hate that they showed.
Yeah.
That one. You know
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
yeah.
you didn't answer the question because
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so why are we having this conversation?
Because
they're gonna-
14-3 is
Okay.
it's hard to
on
resist.
the couch.
Yeah, I know.
You're on the couch right now. No one cares about 14 wins in the regular season.
Okay, so
He's getting
What do you
franchised.
say, Travis?
Yeah, you think so?
He's getting franchise tag.
Oh, that's not,
I think he'll get franchise
smart
tag
thing
too.
to do.
Yeah.
He's getting franchise tag.
all
I
right.
mean, you have to like reward him for winning 14 games with the whoop, but
Yeah.
like, bro, you look like garbage. The 2 games we need you,
Yeah.
and maybe that is you. Maybe that's the real you. Maybe I helped you become what you think you are. And that's Kevin O'Connell talking. Like when I need you the most, you running 13 yards backwards,
Yeah.
taking sacks.
How's
Like
that?
it looked bad. It reminded me of Jet Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of time to talk draft. Let's
Yeah.
let's move on to the national championship game. Notre Dame, Ohio State. So, first of all, what do you think about the matchup? When the CFP started, was Notre Dame? Now, I got to tell you, when I got a friend of mine that does a bowl pick'em contest. And so I had to sit down before, and we ran through all the bowl games, and that included going through all your picks for the CFP. I homered it a little bit, right? But I really thought Texas had I thought it was going to be Texas Notre Dame. I thought Notre Dame had the best path, and I thought Texas had the best path.
Yeah.
So I had Notre Dame in the championship game. I just thought that their matchups were better. Do you think we have the 2 best teams in the country playing against each other? Or do we just have the two teams that had the best runs through the playoffs playing each other?
Definitely the two teams having the best runs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I would definitely say we definitely have one of the best teams
Yeah.
in the playoffs. Like I said last week, I was quoting what Corey said, the money that they spent on Ohio State, we're finally starting to see those pieces come together and everything. But, yeah.
I am still not. I still don't give respect to Notre Dame of being a good team. 14-1 in this game. I'm just still not sold that they are one of the best. I like their route. I like how you phrased it. So I'm leaning very heavy on Ohio State.
Wow, very heavy is crazy.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be a
to answer your
blowout.
question. No, these aren't the two best teams. But I do feel like, and I was with you too. Like I had Notre Dame making it after I saw the bracket. If Texas was in Notre Dame's position, they'll be in the national championship. That road was just
Yep,
got too evil.
it was.
I mean, too easy. And so I think it's gonna be closer than what people expect. I saw the spreads are like 8.5. I think it is. I think it is a one-score game. I felt the same way about this game as I did with Texas and Ohio State. I thought Texas had to play perfectly. They had to play a certain type of way. Going into that game, I said, you have to make Will Howard beat you. You have to stop the run. You have to force Will Howard to throw the ball 30, 40 times. Trust that your DBs can contain Jeremiah Smith, and then pray that you can get a defensive touchdown. Because that offense wasn't going to move the ball against Ohio State's defense, and they didn't. But there was other ways to win that game for Texas. And they were in it without really – they stopped the run, but not really. Yeah. Ohio State just didn't run it. They shut down Jeremiah Smith, without having everybody else go crazy. Ibuka had a great first drive, but then after that, he kind of disappeared. They really didn't move the ball. Ohio State didn't, except for that one play with Henderson, and then the first drive, and then that last drive in the fourth quarter. Like, that's it. Texas shut them down. And I think Notre Dame's defense is up to that caliber. I think Notre Dame is up there with Texas. Secondary-wise, maybe not in the back end in the safety position, but at corners, yes. Pass rush, linebackers, up there with Texas. My only problem with Notre Dame is how they're going to score.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest thing. And like I said, I thought the same thing with Texas. And they figured it out on a couple drives. You figure out, maybe you get a turnover by Will Howard in their own territory. Now, you can get some points that way. I don't think this game's going to be a blowout. I think this defense is going to carry. Take the under, for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think Riley Leonard, he's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer. Like,
I mean, how many, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. He's kind of a Sam Ehlinger type, right? I mean, was Sam a great quarterback? No, but down crunch time in games, he made a lot of plays that you either didn't expect him to make, or whatever had to be done, he did. If he had to make a throw better than he's capable of making, he made it. If he had to lower his head and run for it, Riley Leonard's got a lot of that in him too.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things I've kind of learned just listening to a lot of different podcasts, GMs talking about what they look for in building a team and what makes teams great. The consensus game plan or strategy is the greatest teams can run the football into the end zone from the red zone. And if you look at who's left and everything, right, NFL and college, Kansas City can run the football, Baltimore can run the football, Buffalo can run the football with James Cook and Josh Allen. Go down to the college football level. Notre Dame can run the football in the red zone because of Riley Leonard. They have that factor. And then we saw what Jeremiah Love did last game. I mean, that was a crazy touchdown run. He ran over 4 dudes. And then you saw what Ohio State did to Texas in the red area. They just gave it to Judkins, and he punched it in. And that's something Texas couldn't do, and that's why they lost the game. And so I think if you look at these games, NFL and college, look at what team can run the football into the end zone, and that may be the telltale sign with these late game situations who can win the football game. Because in this time of the year, you have to be able to run the football to score, because passing against these defenses in a condensed area is nearly impossible.
You bring up a great point, because teams that have success throwing the ball, especially from inside the 5-yard line, are teams that have a threat of a run from inside the 5-yard line. And so Texas once they were off the 1-yard line, they were no longer a threat to run the football.
Yeah.
And so they had to throw the ball, and now you're guarding a short field. So that is key for both of these teams, is to be able to do that, and both of them have the ability to. So this,
Yeah.
I think,
And I would say Notre Dame more so than Ohio State, though, because you have Riley Leonard playing a factor. That quarterback power is just another caveat. But I guess, Will Howard can do it too, though.
Will Howard can do it too.
Will
Riley
can too, yeah.
If you told me, but I just put Riley Leonard a little ahead of Will Howard.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've said it on this show, right? Most games I'm going to pick the team with the better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's this game stresses me because there's so many more skill players on the Ohio State side of the ball. But I still think if it's close, like I think it's going to be, I think the better quarterback is Riley Leonard. And so as long as it doesn't become something where a turnover, like the turnovers and the bonehead play at the end of the game, or at the end of the first half for Texas, sort of flipped the game out for them. As long as something like that doesn't happen, if this is a one possession game going down the stretch, I just rank Riley Leonard a little ahead of Will Howard in those situations. But
I go the other way. We have the number 1 and number 2 points against defenses according to ESPN. Ohio State's number 1 at 12 points, and Notre Dame's number 2 at 14 points. And then when I look at the passing games, you're only at 193 yards for Notre Dame, but 260 with Will Howard, and that's where I go. And I know we've been laughing at him. You were the first to say it, and then I just started laughing at them afterwards. Unfortunately, they won some games. I got the laugh on their 2 losses. But I think because Jeremiah Smith was hurt, though, right?
No.
Okay. So I think Will Howard can take some pressure off, spread that ball around, and that's going to be some breathing room for the run game, some play action. I'm leaning all the way to Ohio State, and I think Will Howard's going to be the difference.
So to a point Corey made earlier about the similarities between Texas defense and Notre Dame's defense and what they can do, the difference is, and Corey pointed it out correctly from the safety position, Notre Dame's defensive backfield is not up to what Texas defensive backfield is. Yeah. But there's a big scheme difference as well. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame plays a lot more man, and Texas plays a lot of zone, and Texas was able to bracket Jeremiah and do a lot of things with him. Not only do you have just by award, you say the best cornerback in the country, then you're able to use him in a bracket situation against a great wide receiver, and it worked for Texas. I'm afraid that Notre Dame is going to line up a few too many times in straight man-to-man, and I don't like that matchup because their safeties can't help them cover in those situations as well as maybe Texas could or could have in those situations. That's to your point, that's what scares me about this Notre Dame. I think this Notre Dame defense front seven is going to put a lot of pressure on Ohio State's offense, and it's going to put it on Will Howard's shoulders. And Will Howard needs to have a really good, if not great game, to win this game, because he probably needs to throw for 275 or more to win this football game.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see it, though. I'm interested to see what the game plan is. Like with Texas in that game, I was very intrigued with what Pete Kwiatkowski was going to draw up, and the bracket coverage was perfect for Jeremiah. And so if I'm Notre Dame, like, why not? Why not take that? Why not just steal it, copy paste? And maybe if we trust the front seven so much, let's take a man away from the box, have 6 DBs, and then trust the front 6. It's like, okay, we think we can stop your run game with 6 guys, because I think Notre Dame's front line is that good that they can do that, and then you kind of giving some alleviation to the back end, and just for a local angle, shout out Leonard Moore, cornerback for Notre Dame. He's going to go against Jeremiah from Round Rock, went to Round Rock High.
One more dude?
Huh?
There's one more dude on that Notre Dame.
Yeah, I know. Jaden Greathouse, wide receiver from Westlake. He had a big time play.
Yeah, he did.
It was funny after the Cotton Bowl. Everyone's sad or whatever, and we're interviewing Michael Taft. And, he's going on his spiel, and he's talking about how much he loves Texas. And, it's been such a great time to play with these guys. And then there was a TV in the room. And on the TV at the time, it was replay of the Notre Dame game, and it was Greathouse taking a touchdown, and it mid answer, Taft is talking, and he's like, "Oh," looks up. "Oh, that's Greathouse. Shout out Westlake." In the middle of his answer, in the middle of a sad answer.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, wow, Greathouse." So it is cool to see some local kids, local men, on the national stage in this national championship game. But yeah, Leonard Moore got a tough challenge with Jeremiah Smith. But yeah, to go back to the whole point though, I think this Notre Dame defense is solid. I just don't know if this offense will be able to score enough to keep up with Ohio State.
So you made a point earlier, Corey, about Ohio State, and you felt they went away from the run against Texas. I think Ohio State's game plan going in against Texas was, we can't win with 12 to 15 play drives on this team. This defense is going to force. I think part of it was Will Howard's going to make a mistake, or this defense is going to force something, and we also can't run the ball 10 times in a 15-play drive and expect to move the chains against this defense. Because this Texas defense, in many games this year, gave up 5-6 yard runs on first down. And so you're thinking, wow, 2nd and 5. And then you run it again and you're in 3rd and 6.
Yeah.
And then you thought you could go to 3rd and 2 and get the upper hand, but this defense found ways, and I think Ohio State was afraid of that. I think they were afraid they were going to have to put Will Howard in disadvantageous situations, so they tried to take the other half by let's just be more aggressive with our passing game and put Will Howard in better situations on 1st and 10 as opposed to putting him in, need to make 3rd and 8s. Anyway, I'm wondering if either one of these teams, Notre Dame or Ohio State, feels like they can stick to the run and force the run game and win doing that against these other defenses, because these are two really good defenses.
And I think Notre Dame that's their game plan every game.
Correct.
We have to be able to. I mean, you saw what they did against Georgia. They were able to physically beat down Georgia with the run game.
If Marcus Freeman got sick, Jim Harbaugh could step in and coach this game.
Right? But the question is, can you do that against Ohio State's front seven?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, that front seven is, man.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal. They're fast. They're big. They shut down Texas, so their run game, I should say. So yeah, I don't know if you can be able to run quarterback power and Jeremiah Love inside zone, outside zone against his defense. We'll see. That'll be the game plan. We already know what the game plan is going to be. They're going to try to run it. Can you stop it? We'll see on Monday. But excited for the game, though. I'm also excited for these weekend games. They always give the Texans these 3:30 kickoffs, bro. Every single time. We can never give no prime time kickoffs.
They're the Saturday Texans.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I get it. We're not that. Yeah, it's the Texans. They don't really care that much about us. But, at the end of the day, come on, bro. Commanders? They got – what time Commanders play? Night, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is.
Washington.
I mean, come on, bro.
I know we got to.
Hey, so real quick, what I want to do real quick. Let's go around. We might have mentioned it, but let's go around. Your winner of the CFP championship.
Dang, bro. I want Notre Dame to win, but I think Ohio State's going to take it.
I'm the exact same way.
Ohio State.
I'm fighting. I'm hoping for a 0-0 tie. I'm going to say Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yeah.
I think it's, but I do think it's going to be a really good football game. We'll come back after this and we'll talk NFL. UKAZI 88.7, Travis Kent, alongside Jamal January, Douglas Washington, and KVU 24's Corey Mose. So let's move to NFL. We got playoffs this weekend. We've got. I don't have the schedule memorized. What are our Saturday games, guys?
Texans Chiefs at 3:30.
Okay, let's just move through them in order. How about that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Texans Chiefs.
Okay, so
Then Lions Commanders.
Texans really nice bounce back. We all okay saying the Texans weren't playing their best football headed into the playoffs.
They weren't.
No, they were not.
But and actually got off to bit of a slow start.
Yeah,
Yep.
really rough start.
And then all of a sudden, they look like the Texans that we saw earlier in the season again. All of a sudden, where we huge task. You got to go to Kansas City, playing the defending champs. What kind of puncher's chance you give them, Corey?
They played in week 16, very recently, and the Texans were in the game. It was 16-10, right before half. Stroud throws a pick, horrible pick, and then KC goes down and scores a field goal right before half. Now it's 19-10 going to halftime instead of 16-13. I mean, that to me, that was a turning point in the game, and we're talking about a 3-point game in the halftime, and they only lost by, I believe, 8 that game. And so this defense can stop Kansas City. Like I didn't understand the disrespect going into the Chargers game. Everyone saying they had no shot was crazy. I don't know how you look at the Chargers roster and be like, yeah, they're going to be able to move the ball against the Texans defense. Like, you have Ladd McConkey and who else? So I didn't get that disrespect at all. And I'm glad that they proved them wrong, all the doubters out there.
I was a doubter for sure.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know how you look at that matchup and be like, Texans at home.
I said because receiver number 1 and receiver number 3 were out. That was why I said it.
Oh, so you're like the Texans offense.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at. Yeah, and I get that point. Like, yeah, how are the Texans going to move the ball? But I was like, how are the Chargers going to move the ball? Why is no one talking about that? Like, this Texas defense is nice. But I say all that to say the Chiefs aren't the Chargers. They have a lot of weapons. And the Chiefs defense, yeah, dude, I don't know how the Texans are going to score. I don't know how the Texans are going to score.
Yeah.
Now that Nico, if you just force feed Nico, I think they realized that in the Chargers game. They're like, look, we have one guy. And it's okay to just have one guy.
That's right.
It's okay. Let's just force feed him. Do what the Cowboys do. Give him 16 targets. Like they do to CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
And if we're going to lose this game, we're going to lose giving it to our best player. Yep. So if they can come out with that mindset. Now the difference is, like, the Chargers don't have Trent McDuffie. And McDuffie's nice. So will he be able to shut down Nico? We'll see. And also, I think Joe Mixon, this is his time. Run the football. Chris Jones up front, so.
What do you make of the news yesterday? He was limited in practice.
He's been limited all year, though. I think it's that time of the year where everyone's limited, especially a running back.
Yeah. He looked good last weekend.
Yeah.
And so, putting him on the we've seen teams do. Tom Brady was on the injured list every week of his career, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was always a shoulder. And I'm thinking, we threw the ball 35 times last week. That shoulder's probably still sore. That's so.
To answer your question, I didn't even answer your question, bro. They have a fighter's chance for sure. I would say it's going to be closer than what people think. They're going to cover. I think the Texans will cover.
Okay.
It's just going to come down to, can they force turnovers? Yeah. The Chiefs haven't had a turnover in 7 games.
Wow.
The Chiefs haven't had a turnover in 7 games. You know how hard that is?
That's one heck of a stat right there.
And that's the one reason that I'm thinking the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl again, just because they have better weapons this year and they take care of the football.
Yep.
Everybody's healthy. Hollywood Brown.
Everybody's healthy.
And they're playing against a defense that just forced 4 interceptions in the previous game.
And they picked up Patrick in the last game. But I just don't see how the Texans are going to score it. Well, the magic number to me is 17. If the Texans can score more than 17 points, I think they win this game. But if they can't get past 17, I don't think so. Because I think the Texans defense can hold the Chiefs to 17 points.
It's going to be 23 degrees. That's a dome team. Did you guys buy into any of that?
Well, CJ has played at Ohio State.
He's an Ohio State kid.
And it's been freezing over there. So
yeah, he's fine.
I think he'll be fine.
Those receivers are different.
And Nico went to Michigan.
Since the last time. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Since the last time they played. Now you got Hollywood Brown back. What do we always like to say? Takes the top off the defense, right? And then you got Hopkins underneath, and you got Travis Kelce healthy. And then, don't forget about that running back room. So
it's tough. It's tough.
It's
but I will say,
than the
like,
last time they played.
This Texans defense, like that secondary, to me is the best secondary in the league.
What? Second best. That's just me though.
Who you got up there?
ATO.
Jesse Bates,
Simmons.
but they're on the couch.
Yeah, they sure
they're
are.
on the couch.
Yeah.
They didn't even make playoffs, and they had a 3-game lead over them. Let's not get into it. I thought you were going to bring up Philly. I would say Philly definitely competes against them with DeJean and Blankenship and Quinn. Y'all mentioned. I mean, that Darius Slay. Yeah, they got dogs. Actually, Philly may have the best DB room. But anyways, go back to my point. I think you can match up with Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy because, one, it's cold. Mm-hmm. So taking the top off is not as easy in the cold.
That's right.
Wide receivers running aren't as fast. Mm-hmm. DBs aren't as fast too, but I think the speed gap does get decreased a little bit. And Eric Murray, he did a really good job against Kelsey. If you go back to that game against the Texans, look at Travis Kelce's stats. Now, Kelsey was able to find pockets in the zone later in the game, but I think the guy to look out for is D-Hop. D-Hop, to me, is going to have a phenomenal game. If I'm going to call any of those receivers, I think D-Hop is going to be the guy that's going to go crazy on Saturday. 1, former team. 2, he knows the defense. 3, he's really good with finding pockets in the zone. And that's what the Texans are going to try to do. So, yeah, I like D-Hop having a big game.
Noah Gray is a great little weapon, too.
I'll give you that.
And I think you need to watch him.
Yeah.
If you're leaving him open, he is now a bona fide threat. So, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I don't know if there's a lot of teams that can say that. Yes, he's back.
Yeah. Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I know.
It's a wrap.
Kareem
It's
Hunt,
crazy.
Pacheco, you got to be kidding me.
In the cold, Pacheco.
The cold's not going to matter, bro.
And
I'm telling you, the cold's not
Taylor's
gonna
going to
matter.
be there, Corey.
Just watch.
So if Taylor's there, that means Kelsey can't lose,
Anyone got a
right?
sticky note, man?
Cold's not going to matter. I'm not saying the Texans going to win, but the cold's not going to be a factor.
You're going to ignore me? You don't want that Swiftie?
I don't care about the Swifties, bro.
You scared of them?
If they pull up, we're over that, right? Are we
No,
done
we're
with
not.
that trend?
No, that camera will be all over her.
I mean, I won't say all over. They'll show a couple shots, but I mean, she's there. She's a fan. Cool. All right. Glad that she loves football.
It's gonna be like McConaughey at the CFP,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You watch a regular season Texas game. McConaughey's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the CFP, you'll show a shot of him, and then you go back to
They did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so.
But yeah, it'll be a close game. I feel like closer than what people think. I mean, he's talking about, it's over already. Kylie. I mean, I get it, but it's gonna be a game.
So that's 7 o'clock?
No, that's 3:30.
No, that's 7 o'clock game.
Oh yeah, Lions.
What do y'all got?
Commanders.
I
wrote
want to see
something
what
down.
Travis is going to say because he's an arch rival of the Commanders,
Commanders
from his division.
That boy JD5 gonna get humbled, bro.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's
Wait,
that-
hold on. They're playing who are they playing?
Lions.
Detroit.
Lions? Oh yeah.
Hold on. Don't do that. This is the nicked up Detroit team. Aiden Hutchinson's not going to be on that field.
Tell you.
Now, so here's the thing about this Lions team is I am very impressed with how the defense has played with all the pieces they've lost throughout
Shout
the
out
year.
Aaron Glenn.
I mean, Aaron Glenn.
You better get an
I tell
interview.
you what,
Interview. He better get a job.
as a Cowboys fan, just shoot Aaron Glenn down to me right now. I'll take it.
You don't want that, bro. You don't want that.
He said, "I'll take
You
it."
don't want that.
I'll take that Aggie any day of the
You
week
don't
right
want
now.
that, bro.
He was an Aggie.
Heck yeah, he and Dan Campbell played together at A&M.
Wow.
You don't want that.
I just
Look,
found
Travis.
that out today.
Let me throw it out here real fast. I know we're talking about playoff days, but like, Cowboy fans cannot sit here and act like we're having a conversation about Deion Sanders. We're having a conversation before Deion. We had a conversation about Bill Belichick, and you're telling me I'll throw Mike Vrabel in there. That was a splash hire, and you're telling me as a Cowboy fan you'll be okay with a Aaron Glenn?
Because he commands the sidelines. When he takes over as a head coach somewhere, he's the next D'Amico Ryans on the sidelines.
Okay.
He commands the sidelines.
But do you see what I'm saying, though?
I see what you're saying.
Like the
I
names that
100%
have been thrown around.
By the way, do I think he'd be successful there? I don't think any head coach is going to be successful at Dallas. So I'm not trying to derail his career by sending him to. But I want someone that I want to be excited about on the sidelines.
That's fair. Not Kellen Moore.
No.
Y'all know that's what you're gonna end up with, right? I just want to let you know that's who's gonna be the next head coach of the Cowboys.
So I didn't say it.
It's like
because
spilling white paint on a sidewalk. It's like how
went-
much boring could that be?
we went so long with Mr. Oklahoma that I didn't give my portion. But yes, Jerry wants to hire Deion. ticket sales, merchandise, media exposure, sponsorships, the earned media money. He is about that. He saw it totals up to almost $500 million that came to Colorado. Jerry wants that money.
Yeah.
Jerry does not think, if he's even considering it, Jerry doesn't think Deion Sanders is going to win him a Super Bowl.
Whoa.
He's hiring that dude for jersey sales and all of the revenue and attention that comes with it.
Why not
I
both?
guarantee it.
Why not both?
I don't think he thinks.
He wins everywhere he goes.
Let's get back to playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lions, I think JD5 gonna get humbled. To me, this seems like that game like last year with CJ and the Baltimore Ravens. Like, okay, they're coming in hot, rookie quarterback, going against someone established, someone who's already been there, done that, in their place. Yeah, you're gonna prove why you're a rookie and why there's still levels to this.
I don't think they can do this. But my point I was going into was that this Lion defense has really impressed me with the pieces they've lost. They've just been plugging and playing and keeping along the same way. If somehow this Commanders offensive line, shout out to Sam Cosmi, Tyler Biadasz, if they can keep that pass rush at bay, because that's what's been most impressive about this Lions defense, right? Is they were an elite pass rushing defense that lost 2 elite pass rushers and can still rush the passer with 4 people. If they can do that and give Jaden some time, I like their ability to keep it close.
Yeah. You can't score these guys, bro. Like, the Lions are gonna put up 40.
Yeah.
That's where I'm leaning. Like, I see your point with I can see Jaden having a great game. Like, I really can. I can see him going out there, throwing the ball around, but I just don't think they can keep up. I just really don't think so. The defense, the Lions defense is so opportunistic with the Kirby Joseph back there.
Yeah, but the Commanders have
Brian Branch.
Commanders got Dan Quinn, man.
Okay. They got Dan Campbell.
I don't think Detroit is ready for the wheels. Look at their 2 losses this year. Baker Mayfield, and it was a close game, but Baker Mayfield, extended plays, we saw all year he's been running to pump up his boys. And then the other team they lost to, the Bills, with Superman, but this is the greatest rookie quarterback runner of all time. I think that has to be dealt with. And I think rolling that pocket, design runs, improvisational plays, I think that is going to settle down that pass rush and give the Detroit defense something that they really have to struggle with. When I look at some of their other games, the games that were close, C.J. Stroud only won by 3. He's rather mobile.
Well, that's because Jared Goff threw 5 picks in that game.
Let me tell you what, and I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to do this, but if Aaron Glenn thinks he can sit back and play pass rush lanes and try to keep Jaden from killing him, Terry McLaurin will have 200 yards receiving in this game.
Yeah.
Scary.
If you think you can sit back and play, let's not let the quarterback beat us, and give him time, Terry McLaurin will go crazy in this game. Because Jaden can look, for all that we can say, he's a rookie quarterback. He's probably going to make some mistakes in this game. He certainly is probably going to make a couple of plays with his legs that's going to make us remember why he was so great this year. But if you just let him sit back there, he is good enough to find McLaurin, and they call him Scary Terry for a reason.
Yeah.
Look, I just don't think that this Lions offense is going to be contained.
No, I agree with you.
You're getting David Montgomery back. No one's talking about that either.
Yeah, I know.
And so, I mean, you're adding another weapon to that caliber. I just don't see how the Commanders keep up scoring. I can see this being 42-24, something like that. It'll be competitive in the first half.
I tend to agree. I think if somehow the Commanders can keep it under 30, that they have the ability to score points. The way the Texans, I don't think, can score enough points against the Chiefs. I think the Commanders, at least, there's an opportunity there because of Jaden, but I don't think they will. I think it's going to be a pretty decisive win for the Lions.
Well, just remember, they only lost to the Ravens by 7 points, 30-23. Now, that's the freeway battle right down the street from each other, but I mean, that's a pretty good team to go up against and not get blown out. I don't want to talk about that Philly win because Hurts wasn't in there. But they, with Mariota, they still put 36 up on the board. I think they could. I mean, they've got some great running backs that you have to concentrate on that run game. Austin Eckler is back and he's healthy. You got Brian Robinson, and so those are going to be two running backs that you can't let. They can wiggle out the backfield. Austin Eckler can really catch that ball.
Yeah.
So if you're doing too much looking for Scary Terry, I think the run game and those little pitches to those running backs out in the flat, it's something to contend with. And by the way, you've heard of Zach Ertz, right? Zach Ertz has been healthy all year, and he's formidable. That's a great tight end to have in the playoffs.
Everybody that you named on the Commanders roster, Detroit has a better version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Younger version, I'll say.
No, better. Sam Laporta is better than Zach Ertz. David Montgomery. Yeah, we have a caller. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Hey, caller, you there?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, y'all forgot to mention Michael Huff is going to College Hall of Fame
Yeah.
from Texas.
Hey,
Yep.
good stuff.
And then, and if y'all can, try to get Sark on the air. I got some questions I want to ask him. I mean, if y'all, just say if y'all can, but if you can't, you just can't. But if y'all can,
I don't think I need to ask any
Brother, if
questions.
we get him, what makes you think we sharing?
well, I mean, I'm a caller,
And I would love to have a conversation with him.
But hey, that's all I got to say, man. Michael Huff is going to College Hall of Fame from Texas.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
congratulations to number 7.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Oklahoma.
The true number 7 for Texas. But yeah, do you think Michael Taft should wear number 7 next year?
Oh, that's a good question.
Saw that floating around. Michael Huff actually he commented on his IG post about it.
What did he say?
Well, Michael Huff commented on Michael Taft's return post and be like, number 7? Question mark.
Oh.
So, I mean, he gave him the option. But, Taft wears 16 for a particular reason. So,
Graham Harrell from Texas Tech going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Michael Huff. Let's see. Terrence Metcalf, Ole Miss offensive lineman. Haloti Ngata. Darren Smith, the linebacker out of Miami. Part of that was Darren Smith. He wasn't Dallas Carter, was he?
I don't know.
No, I don't think he was. Michael Strahan, Dennis Thurman Steves, right there. Dallas Cowboys from the old days. Michael Vick going into the College Football Hall of Fame as players. Oh yeah,
Strahan from TSU, huh?
Some guy named Nick Saban and Urban Meyer are also going in.
Hold on.
Never heard of him.
I have a question because I thought like the first ballot rule applied. Like I thought it was still like you have a couple of years until you become a first ballot. So was this like they just ignored that and said, "Oh, Nick, you're in." Like no matter what.
Coaching is different. The coach is different.
Okay.
Coach is different.
Can you imagine?
I look at this. I look at this list, and this is no disrespect to Graham Harrell, who put up. I mean,
Yeah.
he threw for over 10,000
crazy at
yards,
Texas Tech.
right?
Yes.
But he's going in the same year Michael Huff went in. Michael Huff played 4 years before he did.
Yeah.
Like Michael Huff was a way better player in the history of the game than Graham Harrell.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Graham Harrell and his dad, who coached him at Ennis, and had a great program at Ennis.
Yeah.
But really, so
Rams Eagles.
yeah, Rams Eagles is the early game on Sunday.
Rams.
Wow.
That's a Destiny game. Think about it. What's happening
You
over
want-
in
you wanna
LA
see
right now?
golf? Golf and the Rams
I want to see
battle
golf.
again? Is that
I
what
want to see it again. I mean, I'm a fan of Jalen and them, but it just sounds like they got too like some of the stuff going on. AJ Brown reading a book on the sideline, he's not getting the ball. It's like y'all still got some drama
Stay
going on.
locked in.
Just stay locked in.
Stay
That's what
locked
the
in.
PR told
What
me to
did
say.
Jalen Hurts say in that interview? I seen him with the book. I never seen him read it.
That book went from 500,000 on Amazon to
Yeah.
number 1
Crazy.
just because of that. No, he says he stays locked in and he can
Yeah.
quote the book.
Sound good.
I'm okay with it.
It
I'm
sounds
okay with
good.
him
It
reading
sound
it on
real
the
good.
sideline.
We'll see.
Look, I'm with Jamal, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think the Rams, they are peaking right now. I think they have the scariest defense to go against right now. Those young guys, flying around
Verse.
on that defensive line. You
Verse.
called it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Jamal said it a couple weeks ago about how like did they not replace Aaron Donald's production with those two rookies? And I said no, not really. Like we're talking about a legend, but bro, like Fisk and Verse has been phenomenal.
Florida State boys.
They have been phenomenal. That back end is great. And to be honest, I said it a couple weeks ago. I've never seen a Super Bowl winning team have this much commotion, bad news, bad aura in the locker room around it. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You don't win the Super Bowl with this much bad publicity. And sooner or later, it's going to catch up to the Eagles. It just has to. It just has to. And I think this could be the game where it does. Matthew Stafford, McVay, Cooper Kupp, Nakua, Kyron Williams, weapons everywhere.
Why not? Jordan Williamson. Throw his name in there.
Jay Witt, punt return, punt block, kick return. He do all the special teams. Shout out Jay Witt. But yeah, I like Rams. I'm with you, bro. I like Rams.
It's never my place to actually pick a other NFC East team to advance. I do think that the home field advantage will play a role in this game. I do think that Stafford's going to find the going tougher against that defensive backfield for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Rams to come out with a win. I just like the Eagles at home.
I'm gonna say this: if Saquon goes for like 110, they'll win. The Eagles will win.
I can see that.
I think that's fair.
But I can see Jalen. I can see Jalen throwing a dud.
Really?
Like,
No,
I can have him. I can see him being the reason why the Rams are in the game.
Hey, like I can't dispute that either, and I'm not necessarily a Jalen hater. I mean, but I also think that his bell curve is on the way down. Already.
Yeah.
I think we can see a rude ending to this season.
Yeah.
They're already talking about Jalen being the reason why they're not the number one seed.
Yeah.
So, but
Shout out to Giannis coming in
I
after
know-
us. He said Vic is the greatest rookie quarterback of all time. Should I correct myself?
I mean, low key. I didn't see Vic his rookie year, so I don't know. Lamar, Josh Allen before we got out of here.
Yeah, Bills Ravens. Best game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the game we're all looking forward to the
Yeah,
most,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, I'm looking for the upset of Detroit. Honestly,
Oh, here you go.
I always gotta be difficult.
but
I'm just
I got the Ravens. Lamar
got the
said
Ravens,
he
too.
said he's got it figured out.
I got the Ravens too. Who do y'all think this is a bigger game for, Josh Allen or Lamar?
For Josh.
Josh.
I think it's bigger for Josh as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know a crazy stat?
But
In the divisional round, home games, quarterbacks are 6-0. Josh Allen's 0-2
Whoa.
past 2 years. Every divisional round quarterback has won at home except Josh Allen.
Wow.
He's at home this weekend.
should be a great one. Oh, yeah, by the way, I wrote on this piece of paper, Texas don't score more than 17 points and that the Chiefs win by 10. By the way, I'm leaving this piece of paper here, Corey.
Okay.
Just letting you
Said
know.
Texans don't score more than 17.
Yes.
Okay, I said that's a magic
Chiefs
number.
win by 10.
I think you got to score over 17 to beat the Chiefs.
I really should put 16 on here just to mess with you.
Here you go. Sounds good. I can't wait to talk to you next week.
All right. So, what did Bill picks?
Oh,
Bill,
I'm taking the Ravens.
You got Ravens?
Yeah.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Uh-oh.
I think it's going to be a really, really good football game. I love John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And I respect this Ravens program as much as I do the Steelers program and what they've been able to do over the years. I like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think I'm gonna see him punch. I'm gonna pick him to punch through this game. So
What about the next one?
Yeah.
There's no way he beats the Chiefs.
It's
I mean,
whichever
Arrowhead, right?
QB uses their legs more,
Yeah.
man. I think it's going to come down to that. But
Okay.
no,
Well,
you can't count. You can't.
No,
bet
I
on
think
Mahomes,
Josh
so
is going to
I
throw
think it's
some
Ravens.
interceptions, maybe even a pick six. That's what I envision.
This defense has been playing phenomenal. The Baltimore defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
it has been.
Yeah.
Nate Wiggins.
It
Shout
has
out
been.
Clemson.
All right, we got to get out of here. Make way for Giannis. We appreciate the calls, Mr. Oklahoma. We appreciate everybody listening, and we'll see you back here to talk the championship.